Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Women's Soccer Edition. And my guest for this week's show is none other than freshman midfielder on the soccer team here at Menlo College, Kori-Ann Koverman. Kori, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Nice to have you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. Now, last week, Amanda Nabazic was on the show, and she told me about how many colonies that you thought there were at one point in the history of the United States of America. The answer was very shocking, to say the least, to me anyways. How or why did you think that was the case?
Okay, so they asked me a whole bunch of history questions. So under pressure, I was just thinking, I was like, I don't know, I'll just say any random number. So then, in my defense, I did fix it with no one telling me.
Okay.
But history is not my strong suit, I would say. But I do have other talents.
Such as? Other than soccer, you can't say soccer.
Okay, I can sing the ABCs backwards.
Can you?
Yes.
Go.
ZYXWVUTSRQPONM LKJIHDFEDCBA.
I can hardly say it forward sometimes.
And
you can nail it backwards. That's incredible. Okay, what else you got?
That's probably the top of my list.
Well, there's okay. So then I guess we'll say soccer is on there too.
Yes.
But what?
That's maybe second.
Well, okay. So if history wasn't your thing, were you science? Probably not, because I think Amanda said you didn't like chemistry. So math, English, writing. I don't know what.
I like to write and read. I'm a good reader, I'd say.
Good reader, fast reader.
Yeah.
Many words per minute.
Yeah.
What about typing? Can you type?
Ooh.
Are you a good typer?
Mediocre.
Mediocre. So you can definitely read faster than you can type.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Now, I have to then follow this up and ask another question. How many colonies are there?
13.
Bingo. Good
13.
answer. Good answer. I'm glad you righted the wrong. Now, right away, first season as an Oak, and you're leading the team in assists so far with 3 in 3 games. How much pride do you take in your ability to evade defenders and set things up for everybody else on your team?
It's honestly the best feeling in the world. I'd rather have more assists than more goals. I feel like that's more important to me. It's not all about being in the spotlight and being number one in goals. I feel like it's a team effort, and having more assists is honestly a great accomplishment. I think that even having a starting position on the soccer team, coming in as a freshman, is a great honor.
Absolutely.
And I just keep working every day to keep challenging for that spot.
Of course, that first collegiate goal would be pretty nice at some point, right? Since you kind of had it, but you kind of didn't have it. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Kori-Ann scored in the Southern Oregon contest that got suspended with 5 minutes before it became a countable contest. So it was her first collegiate goal, but if you look at the stats, she still has a 0. So it'll be an interesting feeling when you do get that first goal. Yay, it's my first, but
second.
Wait, no, it's my second. I don't know how to feel, but yay, I scored. So we'll just settle for that. Let's talk about the team now a little bit. It's been a while since the Oaks have played, with a week off following that Oregon trip. How refreshed is the entire team after that long stretch where you guys went up there and travel and fire and all that stuff?
I think coming back from Oregon, everyone was still a little bit uneasy about it because the fires, the long trip, all that. But given that break, I think recovery is a big part of our team since we have such a small roster. Recovering is very important. So I think we're getting back into it, and by Thursday we should be ready.
Now, creating offense is going to be key for this team as conference play looms on the horizon in about 1 week. Do you feel like the team is getting better at generating more offensive pressure?
Yes, I believe so. I think we're working on defensive shape and all that stuff, so I think once we get that down, the offense will just come natural second hand, all that stuff.
Yeah, defense kind of leading to better offense, setting yourself up better for those breakouts.
Yes.
Perfect. Now that you had some time here with the team and you've played 3 official games, would you say that this team is more of an offensive-minded team, defensive-minded, or are you some blend of the both? Because I know you just said that one's going to lead the other.
I think defensive, because ever since day one, since I've got here, our coach has really emphasized on the defending, and I think defending is very important because you can't win a game if you can't defend. So I think we're definitely a defensive team.
That's true, and you can't lose a game when you don't give up a goal.
Yeah.
So there's that. And your goalkeeper, Paula, has been here for 4 seasons, so she knows the drill by now. UC Santa Cruz is up this weekend with the contest at Wonderlic Field on Saturday. With 3 games overall to go before your first conference game, what are you hoping to get out of these final non-conference games as you prep for Westmont?
I think that as a team, just building together, because I feel like we're getting there, but I feel like we still have things to learn about each other and how each other play. So I think once we get that final chemistry down, we'll be okay.
And then with the big bad test in the first game, Westmont College, one of the big ranked teams, you guys are going to be in for it. It's going to be a great challenge, but it'll prove whether all that preseason training has paid off so far or not. And I think with the way the Oaks have played against Westmont in the past, particularly last year, I think you guys will be all right. You know the outcome of last year's game against Westmont? 2-0 win.
That's my girls.
So, there you go, right? They were ranked top 10 in the nation. The Oaks beat them 2-0.
I think we can beat them.
I think you guys can beat probably anybody. But that's the mindset you have to have going into it.
Definitely.
All right, Kori, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. Give me your best answer.
Okay.
Question number 1, which teammate is the biggest history nerd?
Definitely not me.
Of course.
I think Mercedes.
Okay.
When I think of Mercedes, I just think smartest person on the team. I don't know why. But
really?
That's just
because you have some really smart players on that team.
Yeah, I think so too. Everyone's smart, but I don't know why. It's just like the first person that comes to my head is Mercedes.
Okay. Question number 2, which teammate is most likely to drink tea in a harbor in Boston?
I would say Amber.
It doesn't surprise me. A lot of these answers, when Amber is mentioned, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'd say Amber.
Just kind of her thing, A, to travel, B, to drink tea, I guess.
I think, I don't know, like just that picture. She's the oldest on our team, so she's like kind of like the grandma of everyone.
Oh, okay.
She's like in her retirement drinking. I don't know. It's just a picture I get.
That's a bold move to make as a freshman, to call someone out as being the team grandma.
Yeah.
That's new. I've heard of like the mama bear on the team, the team mom, but the team grandma. That's a step above everything else. And then question number 3: if powdered wigs were a thing, which teammate would not want to wear one?
Would not want to wear.
Would not want to wear one.
I'd say Madison, my roommate.
Okay.
She has this weird fetish with the wig. So, long story short, our third roommate.
Okay.
She has a wig, and ever since then, she was just kind of creeped out with wigs.
So she. I have many questions to ask, but I don't think I'm going to ask them in the spirit of this show. So I think we'll save that for maybe off the air. But she's creeped out by the wigs.
Yes.
All natural in the hair.
Yeah, she's natural hair. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I like it.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't want to wear a wig either.
Yeah,
especially not a powdered wig.
Yeah.
White hair, no, I'll save that for when I'm like 70 years old. That's fine with me. Kori, thanks for joining me on the show. I appreciate it. You're welcome, folks. The women's soccer team, they are at home this weekend with a contest against UC Santa Cruz. That one set for 11 o'clock on Saturday morning out at Wonderlic Field. If you can't make it out, the game will be broadcast live on the Menlo College Sports Network. And then the following week on Wednesday, the Oaks are at home, part of a doubleheader with the men's team. They take on Sierra Nevada College on Wednesday afternoon. We invite you to tune into next week's episode of Unrooted when Kori-Ann Koverman will select the next interviewee by me, Brian Brownfield, right here on the show. Until then, we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.